The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zektar's mandibles clicked nervously against his chitinous face. The holographic display showed the damning evidence, a detention facility on Kepler 442b, where 12 human children sat. Behind energy barriers, their small faces pressed against the translucent walls. James Morrison, the human representative, stood motionless at his podium, his knuckles white as he gripped the metal edges. Beside him, Dr. Liza Chen, the xenopsychologist, watched the alien delegates with calculating eyes, her tablet recording every micro-expression and pheromone signature in the room. The children were secured for the safety of the colony. Zektar stammered, his translator struggling with the emotional undertones. They displayed unprecedented aggression during the integration process. A low growl escaped James's throat, a sound that made several council members instinctively step back. Aggression? His voice carried a dangerous quiet that Liza recognized all too well. You're calling playground disputes aggression? The fourth delegate, a crystalline being named Xiao Lin, pulsed with concerned amber light. Ambassador Morrison, surely you understand the necessity of containment protocols when dealing with unpredictable species. Unpredictable? James's laugh held no humor. You want to know what's unpredictable? He activated his own holographic display, showing footage from the detention center. Watch what happens when you separate a human child from their family. The video played, showing 8-year-old Tommy Chen, Liza's nephew, screaming and throwing himself against the energy barrier when he learned his parents weren't coming to visit. The sound of his desperate cries echoed through the chamber, and several delegates physically recoiled. You see a tantrum, James continued, his voice rising. But that child is experiencing genuine psychological trauma. His developing brain is flooding with stress hormones that will affect his neural pathways for the rest of his life. Liza stepped forward, her scientist's demeanor masking the fury Liza felt at seeing her nephew caged like an animal. Esteemed council members, I need you to understand something fundamental about human development. Our children aren't just smaller versions of adults. They're neurologically incomplete beings who require constant social bonding to develop properly. The insectoid delegate Thrixie buzzed dismissively. All species require social development. This is not unique to humans. Isn't it? Liza activated her neural scanner, projecting her own brain patterns onto the chamber's display. This is my mind processing the image of those children. Notice the activation in my limbic system, the same area that controls our fight or flight. Response. The patterns blazed red and orange across the projection. Every adult human viewing these images is experiencing the same neurochemical reaction as if they were personally under attack. Our evolution has hardwired us to view threats to human children as threats to our entire species. James nodded grimly. You didn't just lock up 12 kids, Zektar. You declared war on every human in the galaxy. Surely you exaggerate, the reptilian Counselor Vess began. Do I? James pulled up communication logs on his display. In the past 6 hours since this footage was leaked, I've received mobilization requests from 47 human colonies. The Earth Defense Fleet is already en route to Kepler 442b. The Mars Military Academy has graduated their entire senior class early and deployed them to the Frontier Guard. The chamber erupted in alarmed, chittering, and concerned harmonic resonances. Liza watched as pheromone levels spiked across multiple species. Fear, panic, and something else. Regret. Zektar's mandibles spread wide in distress. We did not intend to provoke such a response. The children showed no respect for authority. They formed pack behaviors. They're children! James slammed his fist on the podium, causing several delegates to jump. They're supposed to form pack behaviors. They're supposed to test boundaries. That's how they learn to become functional adults. Liza stepped in, her voice clinically calm but carrying an undertone of steel. What you've witnessed, Counselor Zektar, is humanity's greatest strength and our most dangerous trait. We don't see our children as individuals. We see them as the future of our entire species. Threatening them triggers an evolutionary response that has allowed us to survive ice ages, supervolcanic eruptions, and planetary wars. She gestured to the continued footage where other children could be seen pressing against their barriers, reaching toward Tommy. Look at them. Even in captivity, they're trying to comfort each other. They're forming bonds that will last their entire lives. You've created a generation of humans who will remember that aliens caged them like animals. The weight of her words settled over the chamber like a shroud. Counselor Vess spoke carefully. What? What do you require for resolution? James's expression softened slightly, but his voice remained firm. Immediate release. Full psychological evaluation and treatment for all affected children. Reparations to their families. And formal acknowledgement that human children are never to be separated from their guardians without explicit consent from the Terran government. And if we comply? Zektar asked. Liza and James exchanged glances. Then maybe we can convince our military that this was a misunderstanding rather than an act of war. As the council voted unanimously for immediate compliance, Liza couldn't help but notice how the delegates now looked at the human representatives with a mixture of respect and wariness. They were finally beginning to understand what James had tried to explain during humanity's first contact. Humans weren't just another species joining the galactic community. They were a species that had evolved to protect their young with a ferocity that bordered on madness. And now, 12 human children had just taught the galaxy's most powerful civilizations a lesson they would never forget. Never, ever cage a human child.